Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Lori's still on vacation.
We thought she was coming home today. She's not. She's coming home tomorrow. So we got to get the real story when she gets home.
Yes, we do.
She said the 18th.
So we're going to talk about Vanderpump Rules, Season 11, Episode 12. This one was called How You Like Them Apples. And I don't normally write down the title, but I thought to myself, I'm writing that down because it's odd. So apparently, I guess Scheana's song is called Apples, but we didn't hear that song. So I'm a little confused as to why they named it that, but maybe...
I guess we'll find out eventually.
I guess so. I don't like when they do that. I don't like when they kind of leave us incomplete. So they start off, they're shooting her video for Good as Gold, that because she remade it with the 27s.
I'm kind of over Good as Gold.
I thought it was cute. I thought
the
it was
video
cute.
was cute.
I know. It's been a long time since it came out.
10 years.
I know.
I've been hearing about the song for 10 years.
I think she's making money off of it. I think that's the song she used for that Uber commercial.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah.
Do it, but
I will tell you this. They were shooting at Kyle Chan's store. Now, every time they show us Kyle Chan, I'm like, all right, who's Kyle Chan? Now I know who Kyle Chan is. I never knew who he was.
Is he a designer or he just has a boutique?
I think it was a jewelry store.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's Tom Sandoval's friend, right?
Yes. He's been on the show. Like, we've seen him before, and they always say Kyle Chan. And I'm like, are we supposed to know who Kyle Chan is? I think we are supposed to know.
We do now.
Yeah, exactly. Allie and James are talking about Rachel's podcast coming out. Now, I'm not sure because they really weren't specific about it. I think they're referring to the podcast she did with Bethany. I don't think
that's what I think.
I don't think her podcast was out yet at that point.
No. And that was the first podcast she did with Bethany.
Yes. And I don't
said the most before she got her own.
Right. And I think it's interesting because one, that they don't mention that it's Bethany's, and maybe because Bethany is not a friend of Bravo.
Bravo's not going to let them mention Bethany.
Right. And
even if they did, they'd probably blank it out.
The other thing I thought was odd is I've been listening to other people talk about the episode, and they don't reference it as Bethany's podcast either. So,
really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it Bravo people that you're listening to?
Not necessarily. I mean, Scheana was. I did listen to Scheana's, but I was listening to Heather McDonald today, and I don't know if she wasn't putting it together. That it wasn't her, that it wasn't actually, Rachel's new podcast. I don't know. So anyway,
any friend of Bravo is going to keep Bethany's name out of their mouth.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Heather's pretty much a friend of Bravo.
Yeah, she is. You're right. Yeah. So they're talking about how she was saying that Ariana and Rachel weren't really friends, which she did say that. And
what a contradiction.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That Scheana had a savior complex. That she wasn't really over James and she never loved Tom.
Listen, I believe she never loved Tom. I don't know if he was in love with her, but I honestly think she thought that doing that was going to get her a bigger part on the show. I really, really think she thought that. She wasn't a major player in the show.
Right.
And I think she wanted that because she wasn't with James anymore. And James moved on with Allie very quickly.
Yes.
And I really think that's part of the reason she did it.
It could be. I mean, it definitely could be.
Loved him. I feel bad for him if he loved her, but you know what? He's a dog for what he did. So.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him.
James says he's still trying to figure out his relationship with Sandoval because Sandoval has asked him to open up for him and his, Sandoval and the Most Extras something. So James goes over there to talk to him and the conversation doesn't go well. He's like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, I'm trying to be here, but no, this isn't for me and I'm out. And I don't blame him. I mean, I definitely don't blame him.
Not at
Then
all.
Lala's planning her sperm donor party and is looking for a place to host the party. And first she asks Ariana, can she have it at her place? And she's like, oh, no, now that Anne's gone, it's really just not good. And
so
then
did Anne quit?
I don't think Anne quit.
They didn't really say.
They didn't really say. I mean, they said in episodes prior that Tom fired her, but then Tom said that he didn't fire her. So
Right.
He probably fired her.
He probably fired her.
Exactly. So then Lala says, well, I'll ask Lisa. You know, she said, is there anything I can do to help? And, you know, I can use her help with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So Sandoval and Schwartz are talking about Rachel's podcast. And she said that, you know, about that she wasn't in love with Sandoval. And when Schwartz is talking to Sandoval about it, like Sandoval starts crying. Now, I don't know if it's just him acting, but I really do think that he was hurt by the whole situation. I do think that he was holding out hope.
Yeah, I think that for any other reason to redeem himself, if they could get together and actually be a couple and move on, it would make him look better.
Yeah.
Than her now being a victim, Ariana being a victim, and him being the one who created this mess.
Right. I mean, that could be it.
Yeah.
So then Schwartz meets up with LVP at Tom Tom's and Sandoval's running late. And she's mad about it.
He's always fucking late when he's meeting with Lisa. Like, what are you doing?
I know. And
like,
he's so
your eyebrows and fucking get to your meeting on time.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Then Schwartz is kind of trying to cover for him, saying, listen, I'm worried about him. He heard the podcast. And that way to kind of soften the blow when he does show up. And then, you know, he shows up and LVP asks if, like, what's going on with you? You know, why weren't you here? And he's making excuses, you know? And she's basically like, listen, move on. You need to just go forward with this and stop going backwards.
Right.
Then Lala meets up with LVP and asks if she can have the party. And LVP says, are people going to be jerking off in my backyard?
Best fucking line of the show.
Lala says, no. It's
Best
going to be
line of the show.
It's going to be a nice party. She's like, I have the catering all lined up, balloons. Everyone's going to get a packet. And then we're all going to vote on her sperm donor. And even still, Lisa was just a little like, I don't know. So
whatever
she
you
obviously,
crazy kids want to do.
Yeah, she agrees. And then Scheana and Brock go over to Ariana's house to try and help her clean up. Oh my gosh.
Help her? She fucking sat there and watched them.
And
she is a lazy dog, man. She is lazy.
I mean, yeah, I don't think she wanted them to come over. This is what I think happened. I think production said, you guys got to get over there. This place is a mess. And I think they kind of
film there.
Right. I think they kind of ambushed her. And they're like, you know, you have Christmas gifts. Like, I mean, this is what month is this now? Like, that's crazy.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Exactly. It was like at least 6 months after Christmas, right? Because it came out in March, right? And then I mean, come on. I don't know.
I'm like Scheana, man. And I can't live in clutter. I can't do it.
I know, I can't either.
Sometimes I don't even like going down to my basement. If it's you know, the one half is straightened up, the other half. Actually, that side's straightened up too. Like Eric's been working down there.
Oh, that's good.
So now I feel better. But sometimes, like in the past, I'm like, I can't even. And my laundry's down there. I go down the stairs. I'm like, I can't even look at that side of the basement. I hate clutter. I can't imagine living like that.
I can't either. I really can't. All right. So then, what happens next?
When do we hear Tom Sandoval sing? Because he cannot sing.
Well,
He's
that's
got
what
a terrible voice.
I think. Wasn't that when James went over to talk to him?
I
Because
have it
wasn't he
written down.
practicing? I don't know.
Yes, because then James and him get into it. Yes.
Yeah. But we do meet Craig, Tom's new assistant.
His doppelganger.
I know. That was so weird.
He looks just like him.
That was so weird. And what is he doing? Like, I mean, he's certainly not cleaning. I don't even know.
No, he's not.
No.
And then Sandoval asks Schwartz to move in with him and take a loan.
Take a loan or pay me $6,000 a month in rent.
Yep.
What?
Now, and good for Schwartz for saying no, because Sandoval probably never thought in a million years he would say no to him.
Yeah. No, that would be
like startling. I'm like, what? You wanted this fucking house so bad. If you can't afford it, you can't have it. That's how the world works.
What is even going on with this house right now? I mean, do they both still own it?
She's out of it. No, I think he bought her out. She moved out.
I know she moved out, but did he buy her out? I mean, I know she bought her own place, but she took out a mortgage on it. It was 1.6, and I think they said she put down $800,000, so she has an $800,000 mortgage. Do you think he bought her out?
I thought he bought her out, but I mean, she would have made more than that, right?
Yeah,
if wasn't their house like 3 million?
Yeah.
Worth.
I think
worth three. I don't think they bought it for that, but now it's worth.
I was going to say, I think they paid 2 point something for it, and the current market value was probably 3 something. But I don't know. It's funny that we don't know that. Like, we know that she bought a new place, but we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to find that out. I can really see my gray roots.
I can't see them.
Better do my roots tonight.
So Allie's, oh no, wait. First, Brian's there from the California Cryobank. They have 3 donors to choose from. At the party, they all show up at the party, and Lala has the game pinning the sperm on the vagina cake.
That was so funny.
How did she?
Nice that Scheana's mom came.
Yeah, and Lala's mom and Lala's brother. Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I think that they're very close.
Yeah, it seems it. It does
because they live right next to each other in Palm Springs. They live next to each other here. I think they kind of, do double duty with the grandmas, which is good.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah.
So they pick her sperm donor. That donor number 1. It was unanimous. They all thought that he was the best sperm donor.
Mm-hmm.
Allie's telling James.
Did she see what he looked like? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. So she said that they didn't show it, but she specifically didn't want to see pictures of him today, the sperm donor. She wanted to see baby pictures of the sperm donor because I guess she wanted the baby to look similar to Ocean. So if she saw a baby picture, she'd get a better idea, which I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
So then Allie's telling James about the sperm donor party, and James gets emotional because he's talking to Allie about, him wanting to settle down, and she's like, she's not on the same page. Like, she's not
surprising, right?
Well, the funny thing is, at first I thought it was surprising, but then I thought about it. Like, think about it. How did Allie and James get together so quick? And she was on a reality show before. And
she was?
Oh yeah, she was on a reality show before. Actually, I think it was called The Valley. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you, she's like Rachel. She like she is. And now she's trying to get her singing career.
I do remember her saying that somebody in her family said, James Kennedy's playing, you should go down there and try to meet him. And she did, which is exactly what Rachel did.
Yes.
I do remember that. Oh, yeah. Poor James.
I know. So I think maybe, I don't know. I mean, I felt bad for him. I did.
Me too.
And then what else is going on?
Like, how else are we going to get on the Valley if you don't get pregnant? She's like, come on, that's one of the prerequisites, man. Get on board. They're all going to go into the valley. They're all going to go to the valley.
That may be the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're doing the first ever brunch at Tom Tom. It's a new event that they've been planning for a long time. I guess they used to do the brunch at Pumps across the street, but now that Pumps is closed, now they're doing the brunch at Tom Tom.
Yeah.
And the gang was all there again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Allie then tells Katie that Lala said she was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And Lala says, are those the words I said? And then they play back, and those are not the words that she said.
She said unhappy.
Unhappy. And I feel like that's a little bit messy, Allie.
It is messy because I think there's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is, Katie does fucking seem miserable. I mean, she's just so judgmental and bitchy.
Yeah.
Not just like that for no reason.
No,
but
I
you know
agree.
what? She's kind of always been like that.
She has been. And even, obviously, when she was married to Schwartz, it was never, I mean, I feel like it wasn't her fault then, because Schwartz is like it's like being married to a child. Because he just is like, he's like a toddler.
Yes.
But now that she's not with him, you can see that's not the case. That's just who she is.
Right.
And I don't know if you saw, but I'm not sure if Lala unfollowed Katie and Ariana, or Katie and Ariana unfollowed Lala on social media.
Oh, I did see something like that, and I thought it was Lala unfollowed them, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way it was.
I thought it was her.
I'm not sure which way it was.
It doesn't seem like something Ariana and Katie would do, though, doesn't it? Well, something happens at the reunion, and they all say, like, that's it, the friendship's over.
Yeah. I wonder, like you said, is there going to be another season?
So, wait a minute. Didn't you say Katie lives in the same building as Kristen?
3 doors down.
Oh, so technically she could be on the valley, too.
She could be. Yep, she sure could.
Hope not.
Even though she doesn't have a baby or a man.
She does not have the prerequisite. She better get on it.
Yeah. Zach doesn't.
No, he doesn't. That's true.
I mean, he may have a boyfriend.
Jasmine.
Well, Jasmine has a girlfriend.
Well, she does have a girlfriend, yeah.
I mean, we may just not have met him yet either.
Right. Oh, I was watching, was it Monday? I was watching old episodes of Vanderpump, and it was the last season Jax was on when he said, "This is my show," and Lisa corrected him, and I was like, well, you fired. With Max and the other cute guy.
Yes.
And Janet was in some of the scenes, and Zach.
Oh, okay. Zach was there too?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have been around for a while, and they've said that they've been, they've been friends with these people. It's not like they.
Yeah.
And Jasmine worked there.
Oh, that's right.
Jasmine worked at Sir, so I'm sure we've seen her too.
She was probably definitely on there, yeah.
Yeah, and just didn't know, because we were never introduced to her.
Yeah. Huh.
That's all I have for Vanderpump.
Well,
do you have something else?
Just that Scheana goes over and starts talking about her song to Sandoval.
Oh, yes.
And then that line, you went from a Lamborghini to a Jetta.
Yes.
And then they go to Schwartz's confessional. He's like, well, Rachel did used to drive a Jetta. And then you see Sandoval goes and grabs his pocketbook, his purse, and storms out. He was mad. He is the most extra.
He is the most extra.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so next, The Valley, Season 1, Episode 5. We start with the girls are all going to a house in Malibu. So Brittany, Nia, Michelle, Jasmine, Kristen, and Janet, which I'm very surprised because the last episode was that dinner from hell.
Exactly.
But they've all made up now, and now they're all going to Malibu.
Yeah. Nobody's missing a trip.
No. So the current Miss USA, who's friends with Nia, because she's a former Miss USA, has this house in Malibu that she's leaving early. So she invites, the ladies to go use it, which I thought was that house was gorgeous.
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 Yep. Yep.
So I was glad to see that. And Jax is like, go have fun. I'll have the boys over. We'll have a pool party. And then he's out back with his leaf blower. And then the producers ask him if he's like, obsessed with, he's like, I do have OCD. And
Yeah.
he definitely has OCD. He's never
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I liked when Brittany said, yeah, you tell me to go have a good time. And then, you're mean to me when I get back and I'm hungover.
Right.
That's not nice.
No, it's not nice because the whole time she's like getting ready, he's making these passive aggressive remarks to her.
Yep.
Like the exact same thing. And then when she's on her way, he texts her or calls her and says, have fun, get drunk.
Right.
And then she comes home and he's again giving her a hard time.
Dick.
He really is. I really don't like him. I don't like the way he treats her.
I have a feeling that's why she left after this season wrap. She was probably, and I think Michelle with Jesse too, although I think there's more going on there than we know yet. But I think Brittany was probably like, he's going to look like really, more than the whole world thought before that he was a dick from Vanderpump. He's really coming off like a dick in this show. He really, really is. And she was probably like, peace.
Yeah, she deserves better.
For sure.
She deserves better.
For sure. She does need a stylist, though. God bless her. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. She does not dress properly for her shape, though. At all.
Neither does Kristen.
No, she doesn't. But,
no.
I mean, Brittany, come on, man. You really get a stylist because you have a beautiful figure. You're beautiful. You're just not dressing properly at all.
I know. I agree.
She's trying to dress like Nia and like Michelle would dress. Those girls are tiny, 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 tiny.
Right.
You can't.
The interesting thing is I saw it. I should find it. I saw a picture of her. They had posted a picture of her when she first came on, Brittany. She looks like a different person.
She completely looks like a different person.
I mean, first of all, those boobs are way too big. She looked way better. Big. She looked way better with her real ones, which she was complaining about.
Yep.
I mean, she was very pretty, and now all of a sudden she's, I don't know. It goes back to Jax and his smile, his moneymaker, and all the plastic surgery he's had.
When he did that, this is the moneymaker. I thought.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so fucking full of himself.
He really is.
Like, moneymaker, you were fucking fired. You were canceled. You are fucking lucky to be back on TV, and it's probably not going to last because you're a bigger dick than you ever were before.
It's so true.
Oh my
It's so true. Listen,
I'd love to see him get fired from this show too.
And keep Brittany. Get rid of him and keep Brittany.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I would love that.
So then Nia planned the wine and sip party on the rooftop outside.
That was
so nice. Yeah, very nice. And they're all painting based on their intentions. So Michelle's intention is love. Kristen's intention is peace. She says it's so hard being an empath. What?
Oh my God.
When she
said that, I was like, okay.
She almost fell over.
Yeah, like it was like the record's like, the record screeched. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then they cut to all the nasty stuff she said on camera. I love it when they do that.
I do too.
I don't know if you saw it, but she was on Watch What Happens Live after the show.
I think I did watch it with Schwartz, right?
With Schwartz, yeah.
Yeah, I did watch it.
And Andy's like, so you think she's like, I am an empath. I'm like, no, you are not.
You're not.
Just stop.
You had sex with your friend's boyfriend while your boyfriend was sleeping in the other room.
More than once.
Yeah, empaths don't do that.
No, they don't. No. So then Nia's intention, I felt bad for Nia's intention is light and positivity. She says she has the baby blues and she's very emotional. And, I could feel for her. You could see this poor woman is struggling. She's got these twin baby girls. She's got 3 under 2. Listen, she's a rock star. And I felt bad for her that even when she got home and she was talking to Jesse about
Danny.
it. Danny, that's right. She doesn't want to say the word depression. She doesn't want to say.
She doesn't want to say it. I have that written down. And I had postpartum depression when I had Tess, and you can't control it, but that's
Right.
what it is. And it's very frustrating because you're like, I have a beautiful, healthy baby. I'm healthy. I should be over the moon. And you're not. But it's not your fault. But you're
Right.
right. I wrote the same thing down. She doesn't want to say the word depression. She keeps saying baby
Baby
blues.
Baby
And
blues.
she said something else. I thought I had it written down. But she did keep saying baby blues.
Yeah. And I listen, I mean, she did say when she was talking to Danny that she wants to talk to a professional. And I thought he was so good with her. I thought
For
he was
sure.
so good with her. Like you do what you need to do. And even the fact that, his air conditioning was broke. She was out, in the Malibu house. He texted her to come home early. I don't think that was horrible. I mean, I think she probably wanted to come home at that point anyway.
I
And
was honestly thinking in my head, I can't see him being the type of husband to say you need to come home. He probably, or did she show the text?
no,
Maybe she showed the, I didn't think so.
I don't
Maybe
think
he
she
said
did.
it and she was like, I have to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he was like, please come home. Maybe he was, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't.
I feel like he would have just let her have her night. It was only one night.
I know. I just think supposedly, I guess the valley is very hot. They kept saying that the valley is very hot. So being very hot in the valley with the babies and them not being settled and him not having his partner there, I guess it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a lot. Then Michelle. Oh, wait, no. So then the guys are in the pool with their kids, which I thought was cute. I mean, I
Yeah.
like seeing them hanging out together.
Yeah, me too.
Michelle says she's more unhappy than happy since Isabella has been born and she's 3 years old.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. And then they cut to Jesse in the pool with the guys, basically saying the same thing.
And he says that therapy's a disaster.
Yep. And he also tells the guys that she applied for an apartment a year ago and he was blindsided that, he didn't even know anything was going wrong. And he basically.
I don't believe that.
Well, I do. I think because he's oblivious. I think he's so self-absorbed.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the signs were there, but he was ignoring them.
Yes. And then he begged for a second chance. Okay, so Michelle says that she sees him with Isabella and he's an amazing dad. And I get that. I think that, you could be a really great dad, but not be a good partner,
Of course.
And then when he's in the pool talking about it, he talks about how she goes down the street to the Chateau Marmont every day and meets many famous people.
Right.
Which I thought that's a little odd.
Now, they are realtors and they are in that area. So I'm sure there's a lot of whining and dining that goes on. So I get that. But they're definitely alluding to something else. And then that fucking weirdo Luke really starts alluding to something else, but not saying what he wants to say.
Right. And then in his confessional, I mean, he pretty much says it, So we know now.
Do we know who it is?
We don't know who it is.
Mm-mm.
We don't know who it is. So Jesse says he trusts Michelle. And then Luke in his confessional says he's holding a secret that could end everything between Jesse and Michelle. Jesse says if she cheated on him, he couldn't come back from that.
Right. And then he'll tell his daughter how his wife screwed everything up for the next 30 years. That's nice.
Yeah.
So you can be a shitty husband.
Mm-hmm.
And if she leaves, she fucked everything up.
Right.
That's a fucking narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Then the ladies, they all put on their jammies and they're playing a game. The most embarrassing thing you've done on a date? Brittany gets that question.
I mean, I did not have on my bingo card that Brittany was going to say that she shit her pants in the water in Florida while with Jax's parents.
I know. Exactly.
Wow.
Around stingrays, a whole like pot of stingrays.
That was wild. That was wild.
I know. And then I'm not sure who it says, but Michelle doesn't even, when she's on vacation with her husband, she doesn't even go to she goes down to the lobby to use the bathroom. She won't even go in the same hotel.
Weird.
That is weird.
I mean, I'm not leaving the door open so
No.
Eric can come and go, but
No.
I'm certainly going to use my own bathroom.
Yes. Not going to the lobby.
And while on vacation, same.
Yeah. I know. That's weird. I thought that was weird too. Especially since Michelle and Jesse aren't even getting along.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you care at this point?
Right. But for whatever reason, that's something that's like,
so
I don't know.
Weird.
It's so weird.
Weird.
Brittany, and then they go into the last time Brittany had sex was a month and a half ago. And she says how Jax doesn't make her feel good about herself. And, we see that. We see that happening.
We do see that. We do see that. How about when he said to her, you want to have more kids? Why don't you try acting like a mother? Did you catch that?
Oh, I sure did.
Douchebag. What a douchebag.
He really is. He's such a hypocrite.
Because she seems like she is an incredible mom. Not that all of them aren't. But she's like the type of girl who was born to be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yep. And did you ever think maybe the reason she's drinking so much is because you're such a fucking asshole?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, maybe look at a mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then Kristen throws in that comment, well, maybe you should date a 32-year-old and then you wouldn't be, not having sex. I'm so sick of hearing that from her. Yeah,
because she's not, appealing to look at, and neither is he. So nobody wants to picture that.
No, we don't. We do not. No. Yeah, no, she gets a text. I wrote down, Nia gets a text from Danny. So we didn't see it. It's a text.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next morning, the ladies that are up are all downstairs having a good time. Brittany's still in bed, and we find out that Kristen left at 6 a.m., and she left her wallet and half her stuff there.
Why'd she leave so early?
Who the heck? Maybe to go get her 32-year-old? I have no idea.
You know what I want to know? And Tess was sitting next to me. I started laughing. Who cleaned that house? Because they're all like, all right, bye. Meanwhile, the house was a wreck. The house was a wreck.
Yeah,
well, they had a cleaning person come in and do that for this poor woman who let them use their house.
Well, it was an Airbnb, so usually...
No, it was that girl's house.
No, it wasn't. No. No, it was an Airbnb that she had.
She had the Airbnb and let Nia use it. Yes,
because there was extra time on it, and she had to leave to go for an engagement. It wasn't her own personal house. No.
So there was a cleaning person.
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, damn.
No, it wasn't her personal house. So then Danny and Nia are talking about the girls' night, and they're talking about Brittany not having sex. And Nia's saying how she still doesn't feel 100%. And that's when she kind of opens up again about, not wanting to say the word.
Yeah.
And again, my heart goes out to her because no one should have to struggle with that. Especially not today. I mean, it's not like it's like it was even when it wasn't talked about. People didn't talk about it.
It wasn't talked about when I had it, but I'll tell you what, do you remember, because this was going on at the same time, there was a woman, she didn't have postpartum depression, she had like postpartum psychosis, and she had like 5 children, and her husband wouldn't hear it. He didn't want to hear it. She wound up killing her kids. Do you remember that?
I do vaguely remember that. Yes.
That was going on at the time I had Tess and had postpartum depression. So it was starting to get talked about. And I told my gynecologist right away when I went for my follow-up visit because I had a C-section. So I was like, I don't know what is going on. I am sad. I am crying. And she was like, this can happen. And, she talked me through it. Thank God. But no.
You
It's
can take medicine, right? Can't you take
I
medicine
did.
for
She
that?
gave me
Yeah.
an antidepressant, and it
Yeah.
helped tremendously. It
Yeah.
helped tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what else to do.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing, is that you shouldn't have to like suffer in silence, you know? And that,
Absolutely not.
like, now that you're mentioning that, I do remember that mom was asking for help.
She was, and her husband didn't want to hear it. And I think maybe she had 3 children. Maybe it was 3.
She wound up going to jail, right? Yeah. It's
Which,
so
listen,
sad.
she probably was like,
Yeah.
fine. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? She knew what she did. I'm sure she
Yeah.
regretted it the minute she did it, but
I'm sure.
it was psychosis. It was much more serious than postpartum depression.
Depression, yeah.
I felt awful for that woman. Of course, I felt terrible for her children, and that was. But I was going, whatever. It was
Yeah,
going
I
on
know.
at the same time.
So then they're back at the house, and that's when he talks about his moneymaker. I don't even know how important it is to brush your teeth while he's sitting there brushing his teeth with his son, Cruz. Mine are all fake.
Worst.
I mean, he really is the worst. Father of the year.
The worst. Yeah. Yeah. And did you notice that Brittany was wearing a t-shirt with all Jax's faces on it?
I did. I thought it was funny, actually.
I mean, way to feed the ego.
I know.
You're just giving him what he wants.
I did notice that. So she's telling him about the girls' night, and Jack's telling her that he's worried about her drinking, and then she goes on to, and he asks her, what did you say about our sex life? And she said,
like,
after
were you
she
honest?
Said, yeah, and she was. Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she told him.
Absolutely.
And then he says at the end, he's like, well, he's stressed because, he has OCD and the D word doesn't exist in our family. Come on. Really? Then why aren't you doing what she's asking you to do?
Exactly.
She's asking you to go to therapy. She's not asking you for anything that you can't do.
Right.
But the D word.
So you can be a shitty husband and a shitty partner and not supportive. But if she wants to make a change, it's her fault.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Then Michelle and Jesse are talking about work, and that the last night with the guys, he says Jax was asking about therapy, and she talks about what Brittany said, and she opened up to her and admitted the things that she had never said out loud before. She tells him that. And, he's like, I made a vow, and he wants to fight for his family. But
he does want to work things out, but is he?
Yeah. Does he though?
Right.
Because if he did, then he would be making her feel better, because she's not connected. They're not connected. Michelle wants to be happy. Jesse's crying and saying he wants to work it out. And Michelle says she can't promise anything.
Right.
And, listen, you shouldn't, and I think she's right. You shouldn't stay in an unhappy marriage just because you have a child.
No, because she's right. It's better off for the child to see 2 happy parents separately than 2 miserable parents together, 2 unhappy parents together, for sure.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that's it. I don't have anything else
I don't have anything else. That's where I left off, that Jesse wants to work things out and Michelle doesn't know how she feels. I think she did know how she felt because she must have left. I really want to know who this famous person is that she keeps having lunch with, and is she dating him now?
Well, I think we might find out.
Well, I think did somebody ask on Watch What Happens Live, and Kristen said, like, you have to keep watching the show.
Was that about
them? Or was that something else? Maybe that was something else.
I think that was about what it was she knew about Michelle.
Okay.
And because we don't really know, but we do know.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that Kristen didn't have Luke there with her, that she had Zach there with her.
Yeah.
God, I hope they're not together. But I think they are because they have a podcast. They are together.
They are.
But you know what? Jax and Brittany are still doing their podcast.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Well,
is she back in the house?
no.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
and Zach said, was it on there? He said it. Like her place that she's staying at is really nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't know if that was on Watch What Happens Live or I heard it someplace else. I can't
Okay,
remember.
good.
My head is just swirling with information, and I can't quite grasp where I get it from.
Well, after this week, I mean, I checked today, no big news today, but I did see that Brandy Glanville came out and said that she's been vindicated and nobody cares. She's saying she's been vindicated because one producer from the girls' trip came out and said that she doesn't think that it's considered sexual assault, what she did to Caroline Manzo. That doesn't mean you're vindicated.
Okay. I
That's
saw
what
that she said that. I didn't read the article or see what she was
That's what it
talking
was,
about.
because that producer came out. Listen, those producers are terrible, terrible people, obviously, because they're orchestrating all of this. They're pitting you all against each other.
Right.
You know, I don't think that vindicates her personally. And again, the problem is that, and I think Caroline was very smart to not name Brandy in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because basically she's going after Bravo's negligence, which is clear to me. The
Right.
negligence is clear in all these shows, but Brandy did get the brunt. Bravo's not suffering at all. Andy Cohen's not suffering at all from the allegations brought against him by all these housewives.
You know what? I just saw today all over the place as I was scrolling that they're coming up with an exit. I keep seeing it, and I hadn't seen it in a while.
That they're coming up with an exit plan for Andy?
Yes.
Because that's interesting you say that, because right before we got on, I saw something that said Andy Cohen is not leaving Bravo.
Really?
I swear.
No, and as I was scrolling, I kept seeing all these things that he is.
People magazine, Andy Cohen is not leaving Bravo despite legal troubles, says network.
Interesting.
Absolutely no truth to it. That's what the network said. But you know what? They could say whatever the hell they want right now. It doesn't mean anything. And then In Touch says Andy Cohen negotiating departure package with Bravo amid mounting accusations. So they're conflicting.
And I'm looking at Reality Blurb, and it says the same thing. Andy Cohen is in negotiations to leave Bravo amid swirling controversy, accusations of drug use, and lawsuits. Read the details. Link in bio.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, I hadn't seen it so much until just today. I'm just seeing all this. So
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it for years. Like I said, Teresa and Melissa, they could blame Bravo for what's gone on in their family over the years. And honestly, I think I said it on the pod early on when we first started doing this. I think Teresa has threatened a lawsuit against Bravo. And Louis probably behind it, because I really feel like after last season, after the accusations against Louis, him calling Margaret's son, which by the way, I got on my account, not Rewind Whenever, I got into a thing with people today about that.
So funny.
He threatened Margaret's son. He did that. That wasn't that spoofing. You know, I was a victim of that spoofing with
I
Claudia.
remember. Yes.
And it was cell phone to cell phone. Nobody was calling landlines with that spoofing. It just wasn't happening. He did that. Louis fucking did that. And I don't know why, because people were like, well, where's the police report? I did think that Margaret said she went to the police. I don't know whatever happened with it, but he was so, he's a threat. Louis is a threat. And I think that Bravo probably didn't want him to film. And I guarantee you, Teresa threatened them and said, I'll file a lawsuit. Because honestly, with her going to jail for what she went to jail for, and how they got caught and caught up in all of that, they could kind of blame Bravo for showing it was their behavior. but Bravo's the one that put it out to the world. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of think that's a stretch. I mean, you can't blame a network for your illegal activities because you got caught.
No.
When you knew you were on camera.
But like as far as discovery and it being used, I don't know. I just have a feeling that she has threatened Bravo in the past. Recently, with Louis behind her. Threatened a lawsuit.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, there's 2 weeks without any housewife shows.
This has been a while.
I think they were saying like 10 years. It's been 10 years since this has happened. So we know that New Jersey comes out on May 5th. When does Dubai come out? I know you never watched Dubai, but I
don't watch that. I'm not going to watch it.
I'm
really
like
not
Dubai's
interested.
Coming out. Really?
Yeah.
Did you hear there's a new housewife for New York? Minkoff something.
Yeah.
Now is it her, like, is it related to Crystal? Is it?
I don't think so, and I didn't hear very good things about her. Like I didn't read
She's a
very good things
designer.
about
I
her.
think they said she's a design. What's her name? Rachel? Is it Rachel?
Rebecca
Minkoff. So what is her story? Do we know anything about her? She's a designer.
Oh, it is spelled the same. It's spelled the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a common name.
No. That's interesting. I wonder I feel like we would have read that they were somehow related, no?
New season has yet to confirm will be holding an apple. Or if she will take a friend of role.
Right. They don't know how big of a part she'll play.
Right. I don't know.
She's a Scientologist. That's what I read.
Oh.
She's a Scientologist. Oh, was she married to him? Remember the guy from, she's in this poor girl, she's in a picture with Danny Masterson. That was the guy from that 70s show that got arrested for, he's a Scientologist too. He's a
Scientologist too?
Yeah, he did some.
He's in jail now.
He was, yeah.
And all those people were like, all those other celebrities were sticking up for him.
Of course they were. Look at Brian Peck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disgusting. Yeah, she's a designer with the Morning After bag in the mid-aughts. Morning After bag? What the hell was that? Which was toted by stars of the era, including Lauren Conrad, Hilary Duff, and Hayden Panettiere.
I guess it's like when you stay out. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, we'll have to do some digging on that.
Yep.
I think they're filming now, though, right? New York is filming right now.
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Bye.